So here we are going to discuss about the difference between the arteries and veins. As we have discussed in our previous video about the arteries difference, arteries and veins basically have three layers. First layer, that is tunica externa. Tunica externa here, as I said, that is a thin, because like it in arteries the first layer that is thin here, and here tunica externa is thick. That is the first difference between arteries and veins, that the first layer, that is tunica externa, is thin in the arteries and thick in the veins. Second, tunica media. Tunica media is thicker here, because as it is a muscular layer, so that why we say that the walls of arteries are more thicker than and non-collapsed than the veins. And here tunica media is thinner than the tunica media of arteries. Then the third difference, that is tunica interna, third layer, that is here, as I said that there are two types of tunica interna, like two layers. It is further divided into two layers, elastin layer and endothelium layer. The outer layer, that is elastin layer is thicker here, because like it is thicker here because it is an elastic fiber layer that is thicker as tunica media and tunica interna. Tunica media and tunica interna both are thick elastic layers, so here elastic layer is present, so it will be thicker. And here the tunica interna elastin layer will be thinner, opposite of arteries. And the endothelium layer, because so due to the due to that the as the tunica media and tunica interna both have a thick elastic layer, so due to that the diameter of the inner layer, that is endothelium layer, gets narrow, and here the endothelium layer gets wider. That can be the fourth difference between them, that the endothelium layer gets narrower, because the tunica interna as well as tunica media both are the thick elastic fiber layers, so due to this the diameter of that endothelium layer, inner layer, gets narrower. Here it is wider. Now the fifth one, the pressure. The arteries pressure is the pressure of arteries is 120 per 80 millimeter of of Hg, and here the pressure of veins is 0 of Hg, because no pressure is created here, and here it is 120 per 80 of Hg. The sixth difference, that is the arteries supply the blood away from the heart, means it provide the blood to the organs, and here it brings blood or supply blood towards heart, and it supply blood towards organs. Then another difference of arteries and veins is that it carry oxygenated blood except the pulmonary artery. All the arteries carry the oxygenated blood, but except pulmonary artery. Here it carry veins carry deoxygenated deoxygenated blood except the pulmonary vein. Except pulmonary vein, the veins carry deoxygenated blood. Then the another difference, that walls there are 4 walls in the heart, so the walls are absent here. All the walls are absent except only one valve is present in this arteries, that is arterioventricular valve. Only this valve is present, otherwise all the valves are absent in arteries. And here all the valves are present. Why all the valves are present? Basically, what is the work of the valves? Valves basically stop the backward flow of the blood. So here only one valve is present to stop the backward flow. Well, the arteries do not flow back to the heart because it takes blood away from the heart. So valves are present here in veins. Why? There are 2 reasons. First reason, because the veins work against the gravity. Veins basically works against the gravity. As it works against the gravity, so it carry blood from the organ to the heart. So, and second, the reason is that there is no pumping organ beside that, so there will be no except the heart, so valves are present to stop the backward flow, so they cannot move again in the backward direction. To stop that, valves are present, that they because the veins work against the gravity, as well as there is no pumping organ except heart beside them. Then another difference, if we talk about that, arteries are non-collapsed. What is mean by non-collapse? Means they cannot shrink. But if we talk about this, the veins can be collapsed. Then another another difference is the arteries are pulsatile. Pulsatile means the blood flow will be in the form of jerk. Jerk is created, that we can feel a pulse here. We can easily feel a pulse of the arteries, so that is why the arteries are arteries are pulsatile, and here the veins are non pulsatile, means they cannot they do not create a jerk in them. So here the blood flow will be slow. Blood flow will be slow but smooth. Here the blood flow will be fast. So that is the difference between them. Then if we talk about another difference, at the time of death, the arteries will they will get empty. They will get empty because as the heart stops, they carry the blood from the heart to the organs. As the heart stops, so arteries will get stop. But here, at the time of death, the veins will not get empty. That is another difference of the arteries and veins. Now another 12th one difference, that is arteries basically are deep seated. What is mean by deep seated? Deep seated means they are well protected. That is why we can feel pulse. We can feel only pulse in major like wrist, temporal side, as well as neck side. Here the arteries are superficial, means we can feel pulse here, but we cannot feel pulse in rest of the arteries because they are deep seated, means well protected. They are well protected. And if we talk about the veins, they are the all the veins are superficial, means we can easily see that are very near to our skin, so we can easily see them a color as well. They can easily that is why we say that after an injury first, like there is more chances of the vein damages, because the vein can easily damage when we get an injury, because it is just near to the skin. Another difference, if we talk about another difference, that is lymphatic vessels are do not enters into arteries, but here lymphatic vessels enters into the veins. Then another difference in sphincter. What is the work of sphincter? That they contract when the time they want. They can relax, they contract and relax as they are needed. So in sphincter are present in arteries, but in sphincter are not present in veins. So in sphincter are present here. They work as these in sphincter basically work as vasoconstrictor as well as vasodilator. Now vasoconstrictor means when the sphincter contract. Vasodilator means when the sphincter relax. Now for example, basically they will maintain the sphincter will maintain a blood flow. They will maintain a blood flow. For example, if our if our hand skin is got an injury or got damage, so blood flow or blood will lose there. So when the arteries take blood to the skin, the sphincter will get contract because there is no need of blood on that time. So that will be known as vasoconstriction. But like that will be vasoconstrictor. In sphincter will work as vasoconstrictor. Vasodilator, as estrogen is used, that work as a vasodilator, means the sphincter will relax if they need a blood supply. So there will that were the like major or minor differences between the arteries and veins.